For those who came late, let me remind you that our purpose today was not mainly to give speeches, but to show you audio-visual material from Kashmir, including wide-ranging testimonies from ordinary people from all over Kashmir. And we especially wanted to show you a short 10-minute film that has been made overnight very kindly by a friend of ours who worked through the night. All this material will be released immediately after the press conference, and I hope that you will especially see the film because it conveys the voice of Kashmiris and the anger and humiliation that my friends have talked about. If you have not given your contact details on the sheet of paper that has been circulated and is being circulated, then please give them to Saloni, who is sitting here in the corner. The fact that this film cannot be shown today here because permission to show it has been refused is a tragedy. Because this simple film conveying the voices of ordinary Kashmiris cannot be shown in the Press Club of India. Where will it be shown? You can already anticipate that no other university or press club or public venue in India will allow this very simple film to be shown. The problem of Kashmir begins with this unwillingness of the Indian government to let the Indian public know the truth about Kashmir. And that is why we went to Kashmir, because we wanted to see the situation for ourselves and share our observations with the Indian public. Because of the suppression of truth, there are many misconceptions in India about Kashmir and about the situation in Kashmir. Just to give one example very briefly, there's a widespread belief in India that Kashmir is some kind of backward region where people are desperately poor and need investment from the rest of India to prosper. According to one editorial in Times of India just a few days ago, Kashmir is 200 years behind the rest of India as far as development is concerned. This is complete nonsense. Nothing could be further from the truth. I have been to Kashmir 4 times since 2000, and every time I am struck by the prosperity of the people, especially the rural population, especially in comparison with the catastrophic poverty and hunger of states like Bihar and Jharkhand and UP that I am familiar with. This is also well known from social and economic statistics to anyone who has bothered to look at these statistics. We have circulated some of these statistics a few days ago, and they are again in the material that we are circulating today. As far as the current situation is concerned, what we saw and heard in Kashmir, across Kashmir, in the last few days is completely different from the official narrative that all is well in Kashmir. This has already been conveyed by all my friends, so I will not repeat in any detail. I will just recapitulate 3 or 4 points that I think the Indian public really needs to understand. First one, the simplest one to understand, is that there is massive military and paramilitary presence in Kashmir. This even the Indian government will admit, by the government's own admission, there are more than 5 lakh paramilitary and military in Kashmir. By now it's probably much more than 5 lakhs. With a population of about 7 million in the Kashmir Valley, that's almost 1 military or paramilitary person for 10 local residents. This is unimaginable. So there are paramilitary and military more or less every street corner, sometimes in front of people's houses, sometimes there are long convoys coming down the streets, armed vehicles going down announcing curfew, telling people to sit inside their houses, and of course from time to time pellet guns are being fired. We met some pellet gun victims in Srinagar this time as well. But the important point that the public does not necessarily understand, and it should be made very clearly by Maimuna, is that the purpose of this military presence is not primarily to look for terrorists or to defend the border against Pakistan. The main purpose is to control the local population and to prevent any protests, however peaceful they may be, You can be certain that in any place in Srinagar, or you try to stand in the street with a simple placard saying, reinstate 370, you'll be packed off immediately, and God knows what will happen to you after that. Number two, curfew conditions prevail across Kashmir today, whatever the government may say. We were there for 5 days, and except for some places on the day before Eid, when there was some relaxation and immediately some troubles began, the rest of the time, pretty much everywhere we went, the streets were deserted, all the shops were closed, the schools are closed, basically everything is closed except some ATMs and chemist shops, and of course all the police stations. There are no communications of any kind, mobile networks are shut, internet is shut, and for the first time we were told repeatedly even the landlines have been shut, so there's no way people can communicate and even just wish each other on the day of Eid. Hundreds of people, of course, have been sent to jail, and we know virtually nothing about who they are, where they are, and their well-being. As I mentioned, sometimes there are relaxations in particular places for a specific period of time, and that is what allows sometimes sections of the Indian media to take nice visuals of people going about their business and shops being open and giving an impression of normality. But the truth is actually that it's as good as a curfew throughout the state, including on the day of Eid. We have any number of photos of deserted streets on the day of Eid where people were barricaded inside their houses. Third point, which has already been made, but I repeat it, people are angry. As Kavita mentioned, the only person we met who did not oppose the abrogation of 270 and 75 was the BJP spokesperson for External Affairs, with whom we had an initially cordial discussion in Srinagar, but it ended rather badly when he threatened us not to engage in international activity. I will read a few quotes that capture quite well what we have heard again and again from ordinary people of all walks of life across Kashmir, just to convey their sentiment. Here is a young woman who lives in Safa Kadal in Kashmir, in Srinagar, and by the way, I think this has already been said, but nobody ever agreed to speak to us on camera, and nobody wanted us to record even their name and their residence. Everyone is terrified. So all the testimonies that we took are anonymized testimonies. So this anonymized young woman in Safa Kadal said, "हमारे साथ बहुत बड़ा धोखा हुआ। हम लोग कैद हैं, हमारा मुंह बंद कर दिया गया." This we have heard again and again in the same terms. Similarly, somebody in Batmalu, elsewhere in Srinagar, पूरा कश्मीर को जेल बना दिया, हमें बांध कर Article 370 को हटाया. There is a great sense of betrayal, even though it's not the first time. There's a long history of betrayal and long broken promises in Kashmir, but this is really the ultimate. This is somebody near Anantnag. The attack on Article 370 is like an attack on our bodies. We are willing to die to defend it. If we lose this once, we will never get it back. And now here is something we heard several times, which is also quite telling. जो इंडिया के गीत गाते थे, इनको जेल भेजा गया. This is quite important because it conveys that the moderate groups, you know, the political leaders, the parties that were actually seeking some dialogue with India and trying to persuade people that one can have actually some sort of rapport with India, they have now themselves been sent to jail by the Indian government. And that's very critical because it means that in a sense the moderate wing in Kashmir has now been marginalized and discredited, and a lot of people have been radicalized, which was presumably not the intention. Another one said, Congress ne peeth mein चूरा कांग्रेस ने पीठ में चूरा भोंका था, बीजेपी ने सामने से चूरा भोंका था. The Congress stabbed us in the back and the BJP stabbed us in the front. Somebody in Sopore said, जितना जुल्म करेंगे उतना उभरेंगे. The more they repress us, आज़ादी का नारा रहेगा. And there were a lot of people there who were expressing the same sentiments and even trying to shout slogans when we were there, even though they knew that it was not at all permitted. And then the last one, our hearts are full of tears, but we don't want to spoil Eid. After Eid, there will be peaceful protest. And this is the point on which I want to end, that people in Kashmir are waiting for a chance to protest. They know that now is impossible. There's just too much security. They just can't move. At the drop of a hat, they are sent to jail and nobody knows what happens to them after that. But people are waiting, and therefore the situation is very tense, very volatile. No one knows when and how the curfew conditions will be relaxed or lifted, and what will happen after that. And I will end with a personal appeal, I'm sure on behalf of my colleagues also, for as many people as possible to go to Kashmir. It's not very difficult, not even very expensive. It's empty this way, and it's not unsafe as far as we can tell, even if people are Kashmir. And the more people go there, the more the truth will be known, and the less the chances of atrocity. Thank you.
Before we take questions, we will take questions. It's a press conference. I just want to quickly add a couple of voices. I mean, you heard some of the voices that Jean told you about. Apart from that, as soon as Maimuna and I actually entered Srinagar, we saw some very small children playing in a park. Small, just a handful of them, 3 or 4. And we could hear their voices saying, Iblis Modi. Iblis means Satan. So Shaitan Modi, Iblis Modi. ये छोटे छोटे बच्चे कह रहे थे. एक और मैं आपको बताऊं, मैं उनका नाम नहीं लूंगी. वो पुलिस की there is a police officer. I'll not identify anything about them so that it's not possible to get at them. But they were using a phone, right? So one of us said, "Oh wow, your phone is working. No one else's phone is working." And that police officer, IPS officer, said, "तानाशाही के फायदे हैं, तानाशाही है ना? This is tyranny. This is dictatorship, and dictatorship has its uses." That person was against, that person was clearly critical. That person was a JNK police officer, and they were critical of this, and they were saying this is a dictatorship. Those of us who visited Kashmir before, this is new. We have not heard this kind of thing from the JNK police certainly. But this is also new, and there's a sense that this is wrong. And I just want to quickly add, because so many of you are using social media and putting this across, I just want to say something also which is a little different from just our report. मैं यहाँ and I've said this before, मैं उसको हिंदी में भी कहूँगी कि देखिए समझ लीजिए कि कश्मीर का इतिहास, कश्मीर का बच्चा आपको बहुत सरल चीज बता रहा है. Please don't take history lesson from certain TV channels. Please try and read up a little bit. Every child in Kashmir knows. The Pandits would tell us that. All other.
नेशनल दस्तक की आपसे गुजारिश है कि अगर इसको बचाना चाहते हैं तो नेशनल दस्तक को सब्सक्राइब करने के लिए रेड कलर के सब्सक्राइब बटन को दबाएं, फिर बेल आइकन की घंटी दबाएं. नेशनल दस्तक को बचाने के लिए बहुत जरूरी है कि हर खबर को शेयर करें, लाइक करें, कमेंट जरूर करें.